On a quiet Monday morning, Aisha stopped trying. Not because she had stopped dreaming, but because she was tired of watching every attempt end the same way. For months, she had worked, applied, learned, prayed, and started again. And somehow, nothing seemed to change. It hadn't always been this way. There was a time when she believed everything would work out quickly. She thought hard work would immediately produce results. So she gave everything she had to the dream. But the answers kept coming back with the same result. Another rejection, another failed attempt, another opportunity that went to someone else. Every disappointment took a small piece of her confidence. Until eventually, she began to wonder if patience was just another word for losing. That night, she finally allowed herself to cry. She wasn't weak. She was simply exhausted from carrying a dream that seemed determined to remain out of reach. And for the first time, she seriously considered walking away. The next morning, something caught her attention. On her way home, she passed a building that had been under construction for months. From the outside, it looked as though nothing was happening. There were no beautiful walls, no windows, no finished rooms, just a huge hole in the ground. But what Aisha couldn't see from the road was the most important part. Beneath the ground, workers were building the foundation. Day after day, they worked on something nobody would ever admire. Something nobody passing by would applaud, something nobody could even see. And suddenly, Aisha saw something she had never understood before. A building doesn't begin with beautiful walls. It begins with something buried, something slow, something invisible, something that takes time. The next day, Aisha tried again. Not because she suddenly knew she would succeed. Not because the fear disappeared. She simply decided that her current situation would not be the final chapter of her story. The girl who once desperately needed everything to happen immediately had become someone who could wait. She no longer measured her worth by how quickly she succeeded. She had learned that growth doesn't always make noise. Then, on an ordinary afternoon, something finally happened. The opportunity she had spent so long waiting for arrived when she had almost stopped counting the days. It didn't come when she demanded it. It came when she was ready for it. And finally, she understood. The waiting had not been empty. The rejection had not been pointless. The slow seasons had not been wasted. They had been preparing her for the life she had been asking for. So if you're tired of waiting, remember Aisha. Just because you cannot see progress doesn't mean there is none. A seed spends time buried before it breaks through the soil. A building spends months underground before people admire its height. And sometimes your hardest season is simply the foundation of your next one. Be patient with yourself. Keep learning, keep working, keep praying, keep going. Because not yet does not mean never. Sometimes, it simply means you are still being prepared.